Hello Techies, welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn about UiPath Studio ribbon. So we have a design ribbon where there are multiple options to use while we are automating a process. For keeping beginners in mind, I'm going to navigate through the design options in this video. Okay. Before doing that, I request you to please do subscribe our channel, like the videos if you like these videos, and please do share with your friends and colleagues. Let's go to this video. So we are going to see the design ribbon. So this is our UiPath Studio, right? In this studio, if you see the top left corner, there are three tabs: Home, Design and Debug. Let us see one by one. Home. On click of Home, I am getting this starting page, right? So forget about this. We'll learn about this later. Just go back. And if you see here, next one, last one is Debug. Okay. And there are multiple options to debug here. We'll learn about this later. Now let us concentrate on the design part. Okay. First we are supposed to design, right? After designing only we will go for debugging. If you are not aware of the concept or the terminology about debug and all, don't worry, ignore everything. I'll let you know in detail in our next videos. For now, design. Normal, like design. What is meant by design? We will be designing our robot. We are designing our process, right? Automation. So as the name refers here, we have multiple options which can be used while designing our process. Okay. So let us see one by one here. Just open a simple blank process, give a name. Okay. And then open, you can see the second tab, design. Now let us see the first one. See, this is the first one, new. Okay, so on mouse over to it, it says new file. It's self-explanatory, right? So we can use this to get a new file. So what kind of files it will be opening? If it is in a paint tool, new file refers to a one more new page, right? But here in Studio, it is completely different. There are multiple different templates, different files and all, right? So what we are going to get when we click on this, just click on this, it will give a drop down with multiple options of files, right? So see one by one: sequence, flowchart, state machine, and then global handler and workflow. So there are 5 options in getting a new file. Okay. If you are very new to this UiPath, don't worry about all this. Just keep in mind as a blind approach, saying sequence is something. All these 5 options or some different templates of getting a new file. Okay, each one has their own pros and cons. So we'll cover this later in our upcoming videos. For now, just remember simply like these are different templates in getting a file. Okay, so next move on to the next one. Save. It is self-explanatory, right? So it has for new file we have a shortcut, that is ctrl+N, and for save it is ctrl+S. Save. Why we use the save? To save our automation, right? To save our workflow. Whatever workflow whatever design we made using the studio, we are supposed to save it to some location, right? So using this option, we are going to save. Just click on this. You will get save as, save all. Save all in the sense all the files along with main.xml file, which we got as a default. We can create n number of files using this new, right? So all the files can be saved at a time. And save as by giving a name. So this is self-explanatory. Now let me go to a notepad and note it down. New file, ctrl+N. So why we use this? To get new sequence, okay, new sequence and flowchart, or what else? State machine, and what else are there? Global handler. If you are very new to UiPath, just ignore all this. These are different templates of getting a new file. And then workflow. Okay, so this is the use of new file option, and then save. Save, we have ctrl+S. Okay, and there are multiple options in this. Save as and save all, right? Next, move on to the next one. Export as template. So once we are done with our design, we can export this as a template. Instead of saving this, we can export it as a template so that we can import the template, import the file, whatever we have designed here, as a template to a file, as a file template while we are designing another process. So here we have some sequence, flowchart, state machine, global. These are different templates, right? Similarly, if you are going to create your own template, and after designing, you can use this option to export it as a template so that it is reusable in multiple projects when you want that exact template. So no need to develop it again and again. You can reuse those templates. Okay. So this is the use of this option. So let us quickly write it here so that it will be easy to remember. Export as template. There are no multiple options. It is simple. So exports the workflow as a file template, project template. Okay. Now let us see the next option. So the next option is debug file. Debug. Debug we use, okay, shortcut is F6, okay, function key 6. Now debug we use to debug our code in order to make sure that it is working according to our expectation. Or debug we use to fine tune or to find the error or the exception where exactly it is happening, right? So we are bugging it. We are finding bugs in our code. Okay, issues in our code. So this is called debug. So this we can avail using this button, using this option here. Now let us click on this. Click on this. See, it is debugging this particular file. Okay. So even though there is nothing in the main file, it started debugging. Since it has nothing, it just ended. If there are multiple options to be followed while debugging, we'll cover that later. Now let us go to the drop down here in debug file. So debug file is used to debug the current file. So now I have clicked on the main, right? So it will use to debug the current file. Now once you click here, there are multiple options: run file, debug and run. What about this debug? Is it something like duplicate to this? No. Debug file, this current option, this one will be used to debug the current single file, whereas debug will start from the main and it will debug the entire project. You know the difference, right? Please take a book and a pen and please copy all the things, whatever, I mean, at least the key concepts. with the keywords, okay, so that you'll never forget, and when time comes you can just refer that notes whatever you are maintaining for easy understanding. Okay, fine. Next, run file. Similarly, run file will runs the current file and run will run the entire project. Now let us quickly make a note. Debug file option debugs the current file. What are the options here? We have run file, which is used to run the current file, and we have debug, which is used to debug entire project, and we have run, which is used to run the entire project. Clear? Right. Now let us move on to the next option. See something here which is grayed out. Cut, copy, paste. Self-explanatory, right? If I want to, let me take a sequence and, okay. Let me drag an activity here. Some message box and all. So this is my message box. Forget about all these errors. It is just expecting this. Okay. Okay. See, cut, copy, paste. When I select this, you can see this, right? It got highlighted. So there is an option to copy this. Where is copy? See copy. Okay. So I can paste it here. That's it. So paste also came, cut also came. So this way, while designing our code, while designing our automation, we can use these options. Undo and redo. Redo. It will do the same activity again. Okay. And undo. Say for example, I have deleted this and I click on undo. It will come again. Okay. Right. So this way we can use these options to while automating our process. Right. There is some different option here. Let me write it down. Cut. People who are aware of the software, I mean other technologies, you can easily identify this, you can understand this. Okay. Remove the activities, or what to say, the message or anything, whatever you want. Okay. Or an invoke file, invoke workflow, all this comes under activities only. Okay. Removes and copies to the copyboard. Okay. Now what is the other option we have? Copy, copies, next paste. That will paste, and the preferred, we can say given location, right? And what else are there? Undo. It will revert the latest action, and redo, it will repeat. Simple keywords I am just capturing. If you want more clear understanding, you can use your own statements while you are having your notes. Okay, let's move on to the next one. It is manage packages. See, on mouse over to it, it says install and update activity packages, manage dependency rules, and add custom activity feeds. And the shortcut is ctrl+P. I'll tell you, don't worry about this terminology. I'll tell you in detail. So just go to the project and you could see some dependencies here. All these are called as packages: UiPath.excel.activities, UiPath mail activities, system activities, testing activities, UI automation activities, right? If I want to have something related to SAP activities, or something related to some mail activities, so okay, mail already covered, PDF activities, okay, I just want few more activities which are not available here in the list. In that scenario, I can go to this manage packages. Manage packages. We are going to manage the packages in this entire project. When we manage the packages, it is completely related to this project alone. It's not to the entire studio. Keep this in mind. It is completely related to only to this project. So just click on this manage packages. You could see multiple options here: settings, project dependencies, all packages, local, official, marketplace, orchestrator, host, and NuGet. Now, by default, it is on project dependencies. You could see the packages here, right? All are in green. And remember, I think you remember these packages, right? These are the ones which you have seen. Oh, wait, let me go to navigate to the project. These are the ones which you have seen here, right? Same. That means the dependencies which are related to this project been automatically shown here by default. Now, green symbol refers to it's already installed. Just mouse over to it, you can understand this package installed. Okay, so just select one and see this right hand side window. It is giving a clear, simple information about the package, what it is meant for, why, what and all been involved in this, what we get along with this. Okay, now it is giving some n number of versions, also install or update options here. Since that it is already installed, it is showing uninstall or update. Okay, if a new version comes to this package by UiPath, then you can get this update option enabled. Okay, once you click on this, you can click on save. Let us go to all packages, and if you want a new package, just go to all packages and type your requirement. No need to have an idea, or no need to know about the full path of activities package, whatever the package it is. Just type whatever you want. I just want some activities related to PDF, but I don't know in which package it contains. So I just type a PDF, and you could see multiple options came, right? OCR activities, PDF activities and all. So just navigate through the each and every package, and whichever you feel that it suits to your requirement, click on that and use the install button. Okay, and you could see here that green button is not there, right? Because it is not yet installed into this project. So now let me install this. See, it is set to installed. Okay, now select the version which you want and then click on save. Right, this is how we can use this manage packages option to download the package whatever we need, right? Or also we can update to a latest version, or we can uninstall the package if it is of no use in this product. Okay, this is the use of the manage packages. Now let us quickly have a note of this. I hope you got this information right. By the meantime, let us go to our notepad and let us save this. Manage packages. Use it to manage in the sense install, uninstall, or update the required packages completely related to this project scope. Okay, not to the entire studio. Keep this in mind, right? Now let us see whether it has installed or not. Yes, it's done. If you see in project panel, where is our PDF? See here, this is what we have installed, right? Now go to activities and just type some PDF. You will get to know whether it is installed, right? So all these been installed. So these many activities we got through this package. I hope you got the clear information on the usage of package and what is the need in having this button here, option here. Next, move on to manage entities. Just mouse over to it. It gives a clear information here. Okay, it says a connected tenant does not have the data service enabled. Please connect to a different tenant and ask the service to import the entities. Okay, forget about this. Actually, manage entities we use to manage the entities which are already created. We have an option called data service in our cloud account where we can add or delete or update our entities. So from the entities which are created there over there can be managed. Okay. Forget about this. I'll cover in deep detailed definition or the usage of this managed entities in our next upcoming videos. For now, this is not a basic need. Just ignore this. Okay. Now let's move on to the test manager. On mouse over to it, it says link, unlink or open the test case in test manager. Okay. So just click on this. It shows some manager settings. So there are multiple settings involved here. And if you are a beginner and if you are going to automate any process, this is not a basic need. Just ignore this. Okay. So let's move on to the main part here. Recording. Okay, records multiple activities at once in desktop or web or Citrix environments. So see here, I'm dragging and dropping multiple activities, right? I'm working on a different activities in order to automate a process. I know how to navigate in my process from each stepwise, right? And it might be time consuming when I'm going to drag and drop and to identify what activity best suits to my process and all, right? Instead of that, we can use this inbuilt recording option from the UiPath Studio where it has multiple options like basic, desktop, web, image, native Citrix, computer vision. So using these different options, we can directly record our action items, actions which are performed on our screen. Okay. So when I click on this, it will directly give me a prompt to start the recording so that whatever actions I perform on my screen, on my desktop, those will be captured as a sequence of steps, including the action items. Okay. And also the data. So this way it will reduce our workload. And later once we do this, we can optimize it according to our need. Right? We'll cover this later in deep through our next videos. But now, for now, you can just remember this saying a recording option we use for to record the actions performed by the developer on screen and captures it to the design panel, right? Okay. So it will capture to our workboard now. And there are multiple options here in recording: basic, desktop, web, image, native Citrix, computer vision. Each one has its own pros and cons. We'll discuss about this later. For now, just see this basic. It generates a full selector for each activity and no container activity will be required. And then suitable for desktop, suitable for all types of desktop apps, generates container activities and partial selectors for each included activity. Similarly, web, it is designed for recording in web apps and browsers, generates container activities and uses the simulate type or click input method by default. So there are shortcut keys also in performing this. Next, image, designed for recording in virtualized environments like VNCs, VMs, Citrix or SAP. It permits only image, text and keyboard automation. Okay. Next, native Citrix is suitable for desktops and apps virtualized through Citrix technology. And coming back to the last one, computer vision, suitable for automatically generating workflows that use the computer vision activities. So there are multiple options. We'll cover this with best examples later in our upcoming videos. Don't worry about it if you are very new to this UiPath. Okay, it is very easy and easy to understand. Okay, so we have basic. You just remember this, like we have basic. So if you know that these many options are there, it will be useful when you design it, when you are designing an automation, so that you will come to know which one to use. So we have basic, desktop, Citrix and image and native, computer vision. Did I miss anything? Let me go back. Okay. Web, desktop, right? Web. Okay, that's it. Now let us move on to our next option. Okay. Right. Where is our studio? Yes, here it is. Now let us see the important one, that is screen scraping. What it will do, it will extract the data from a specified UI element or document using full text native or OCR methods. There are different OCR methods, different methods while you extract data from any UI element. Those are full text native and OCR methods. For now, you just remember that we have an option called screen scraping on the design ribbon, which is used to extract data from a specified UI element or a document. Okay, they using multiple available methods. That's it. Later we'll see this. So when on a general terminology, when you are going to extract data from any UI element, we need this let us note it down. Screen scraping is used to extract data from UI element, okay, using different OCR. Now let us see the next one, that is data scraping. So if you see, this is one scraping and this is one more scraping, right? Let us see the difference as well in our coming videos. And we have already few videos on screen scraping and data scraping. If you want to know in detail, you can watch them. Now let us see the data scraping option. What it will do, it will extract structured data from a browser, application or document to a data table. So here in screen scraping, it is extracting the UI element data, whereas in data scraping, it will extract the structured data. Okay, that's the only difference, and there are few more differences, but you can go through our next through our videos on data scraping for more details. Okay, now let us remember this. Let us have a note on this. The option data scraping, which is used to extract structured data. We have from UI. Okay, UI in the sense whether it is a web application or desktop application, whatever it is. Okay, so we have multiple videos on screen scraping and data scraping with clear information, easy to understand. So even practice sessions are there, so just go through those videos in our channel. Next, move on to the next option. It is user events. Okay, On mouse over to it, it is telling execute activities when certain user events are triggered. So it is something related to our keyboard and mouse, right? You can see the symbol here. Just click on this, what it will give. On click event element, on key press element, on click image, monitor mouse, monitor keyboard. Just click on this. It is navigating, right? So let me give it back. So what it is doing, it is just giving some scope and actions. So on click element, what needs to be done? So that is what is being captured. Self-explained, right? So user events, on particular user event, what needs to be done in this automation. So in such scenarios, we are going to use this piece of functionality, which is nothing but user events, right? Understood. Let's quickly take a note. User events. Okay. So what and all we have? On click element, mouse related and keyboard related events. So what it is doing? It is going to enables the actions to be performed on keyboard or mouse related events. Self-explained, right? If you want to capture few more details, you can capture. There are multiple options here, right? So I am not covering all this in our notepad. Simply I have given keyboard related and mouse. Next, coming to UI Explorer. UI Explorer is a very important tool which is provided by UiPath Studio. We'll come to know about this when we are doing automation, okay, when we start our designing, okay. So on a high level, this we use for to explore the selectors when we are selecting a UI element on any web application or a desktop application. This we can use to edit or to explore more about the selectors in order to get the reliable selectors, okay. So on click of this, it will launch a UI Explorer. Let me show you how it looks like. And we have multiple videos in our channel using this UI Explorer. You can go through all those videos for better understanding, okay. See, this has some different options also. You'll come to know about this in detail. If you are a beginner, please go through our videos on UI Explorer in this channel, okay. Just close this. On a high level, we can see there is an option called UI Explorer. This we can enables us to explore on selectors, okay. So it will be used during UI automation, okay. Now let us move on to the next option, which is provided by UiPath Studio in its design ribbon, that is remove unused. Self-explained, right? There might be some different items which are not used in this particular project, so we are going to remove all those in one shot. So what all those items? Just click on this. See, there we have workflows, variables, arguments, dependencies, imports, right? Remove unused screenshots. So multiple things are there which might not be used in the project. How if it is not used, why I created them? This might be your question, right? It happens actually when we create a variable and when we are using it, there might be a chance like we will it is of no use in next workflow, right? So in the other workflow, we might create some in-out arguments, and because of that, the variables created at the earlier initial state might not be useful at any cost. Consider a big project. Say we have multiple workflows in and out, right? We may not validate each and every workflow and check whether it is used or not, right? So in such scenarios, at one shot, we can use this option to remove the unused. And what is the need of removing this? It will directly impacts the performance of this project. Okay, if there are multiple variables which are not used for initializing, it will definitely give some memory, right? So it will occupy some space, whereas it will directly impact the performance in terms of memory or in terms of time and all, right? It will take some time to load all these, right? So in general, in any technology, when we are running or compiling a project, it will take some time. It will load, it will assign some memory to all the used variables and workflows and all. So same way, even in UiPath Studio, it will give some memory location, memory being allocated for each and everything, whereas it will directly impact the performance of the project. That is the reason it is always a best practice to remove all the unused workflows, variables, arguments, dependencies, imports and screenshots, right? So let us take a high level note on this. Remove unused. Okay, so helps us in removing the unused variables, arguments, workflows, etc. at one shot. Okay, so just remember this high level statement so that it will be easy for you while you start doing something using start your automation using UiPath Studio. Now let us move on to the other one. It has analyze file. Analyzing the file. What it is doing, check file for validation errors and workflow analyzer violations. There might be a code review. You might have heard about this being a techie, right? So while code review, we might be using some tools or we might go with manual reviews, right? So the same way, we have an inbuilt tool here to analyze a file in terms of the violations or errors or validations, okay? So there is option to create our own rules, our own ways to analyze this, okay? So this is a very big concept which helps the developer or the peer reviewer to give the best out of your automation, okay, in terms of performance, quality, right? Now let us take a note on this. Analyze file. We will be using this analyze file, current file, in terms of data violations, errors, and whatever if custom rules. Okay, we can create according to the organization. There might be multiple rules, right, for quality. So there will be something called a naming convention or always use, try and catch, all these kind of custom rules in each organization. All those we can feed into this and we can run this. Now let us click on this. There is a workflow analyzer settings. This is where we can set our own rules and we can run this before we go to peer reviewer or code review. Okay. Next, validate project, validate file, analyze project. So these are the different options where we can check project for validation errors, so complete project, and checks for only the file for validation errors and validation errors on complete project, and then workflow analyzer. So we'll look into this in our next videos. Okay. Next, we have multiple options also. Okay. Finally, next move on to the other option, export to Excel. So this can be used to export things to Excel. Now just click on this. So this is going to save in an Excel format. Okay. So next, publish. This is a very important critical option without which we cannot publish things, whatever we have automated, into either local server or to orchestrator. So on mouse over to it, it is telling, see, package an automation process or library, and release notes, add release notes, manage versions, and publish the package to orchestrator or a custom feed. So just click on this. There is an option to have publish test cases. So it helps us to publish the test cases, as well as it helps us to publish our code, whatever we have written here using UiPath Studio, to our custom feed. Custom feed in the sense to whether to a local server or to a specific location, or to orchestrator directly. Just try to click on this. See, it will, okay, it has some validation errors. By default it has given. Let me open another project which doesn't have any validation. So I just opened another project. I'm clicking this publish. So this is how the publish window looks like. Okay, there are multiple options to name your package and all, and the version, current version to the new version. And if you click on the next, it will ask for the custom URL or your orchestrator URL. Okay, so this is how we will publish it, right? So these are, let me take a quick note on publish. So packages, the automation, and publish it to orchestrator or to a custom feed. What is the use of this? So that it can be executed by different robots, right? This is how the publish button is used. And see, we have a quick recap. We have home, design, and debug tabs in UiPath Studio. And in design ribbon, we have multiple options which we use while we design our automation. So new, save, export as template, and debug, and cut, copy, paste, undo, redo, manage packages, manage entities, test manager, web recorder, app recorder, custom computer vision, and user events, table extraction, UiPath, UI Explorer, remove unused, analyze file, export to Excel, publish. So you might have noticed some differences here, like table extraction and computer vision, because I have opened the studio in a modern experience. This is how it looks like. So screen scraping and data scraping gone, right, in the modern experience. Let us move on to our old one, where we have learned the earlier one. So this is the classic one. So we have learned about the classic ribbon, whereas there is no much difference between the modern and classic ribbon, whereas we have the different recording options here in classic, and in modern we have the web or app recording. And for table scraping, instead of table scraping, we have here screen scraping and data scraping. Only that's it. So I hope this video is helpful for you if you are a beginner, and if you are yet to start your designing using UiPath Studio. Thank you so much for your support so far. If you have not yet subscribed our channel, please do it and give a like and share with your friends and colleagues. Meet you through our next videos. Till then, happy learning and happy automation.